Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Whoa, that sounds scary to me just to say it. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. I remember when I was just a little girl, my favorite place was behind my mother's apron strings because I was very shy and quiet. And that stance followed me through the rest of my life. I remember friends of mine tried to encourage me to join Toastmasters. And I thought, oh no, not happening to me. I'm shy and quiet. That absolutely doesn't fit in my main situation here. But then, yet another friend encouraged me to join Toastmasters. Now, this fella was very shy and quiet. And I could see right away a big change in him. So every week when I saw him, he would tell me just a little bit about Toastmasters. One week he told me about preparing and practicing and presenting speeches. Well, that was okay. And then he talked about counting ums and ahs and filler words in the meetings. Well, that made sense. And then one day he came in and started talking about table topics. I can remember every cell in my body cringed. Table topics? Standing in front of the room and making a fool of myself? No way. I walked away from that conversation saying, I don't want to hear anything more about Toastmasters. And as I walked away, suddenly a light bulb went on. Oh my gosh, I've been making a fool of myself every day of my life. Every time I answer a question, I sputter and stutter with my words and have start stop sentences. I make a fool all the time. Maybe Toastmasters is exactly what I need. I looked for a club, signed on the dotted line, and I was off and running. I met with my mentor, and my mentor asked me what my goals were. I said, I want to give speeches, show up at meetings, and fill roles. Never did the L word show up, leadership. I continued to follow my goals. And then one day, somebody showed me the chart to accomplishing DTM, or Distinguished Toastmaster. I looked at the chart and I realized I had almost completed all of the speeches. But other than my competent leadership manual, I was not working on the L word, leadership. But I saw the twinkling of the idea of accomplishing my distinguished Toastmaster. So I began to look into what would be required for me to accomplish those. And one thing was to become an officer in a club. So I signed up as a secretary. A couple of years later, I was the president of the club, and on it went. And every time I filled one of these roles and challenged myself out of my comfort zone, I started to grow, become more confident, feel better about myself, and learn skills that I would not have accomplished without that. So I continued on my journey, and then one of the requirements was to start a club. Whoa, talk about coming out of your comfort zone. Handful of people started out helping me with this, and we gradually built this until we were able to become an official Toastmaster club. What a thrill, what an excitement. In every way, every step of the way, I'm learning and growing. Now, as part of this project that I'm sharing with you today, I had to ask a couple of people if they would fill out what's called a 360 evaluation that gives them their feelings or their suggestions on how I've been doing as a leader in the club. It's about a 6-page evaluation, so it took some time. So I want to thank Anna and Kathleen for filling those out for me because I know it was a time commitment. And as I looked at the results, I want to share just a couple of the comments. She upped her game and learned how to work with the new Pathways program. And I resisted all along the way because I don't like change and differences. Mary Ann is a hands-on leader who always leads by showing, never telling. She always encourages officers and mentors with little gifts and notes and treats members with respect and appreciation. She's never forceful and always shares with her from her own experiences, which makes her feedback easy to accept. And she really stepped up and overcame her technological challenges when we went on Zoom due to COVID. When I looked at this list, I thought, wow, the person that's standing here today is not that little girl who was hiding behind her mother's apron strings. I've come so far and accomplished so much. And I want to say that I'm so proud of our club because through the processes of shifting to pathways and then dealing with COVID and Zoom, I'm so impressed with the members that have stuck with it. And we continue to give quality meetings week after week after week. But just like when we give evaluations for speeches, there's always room for improvement. So, since I'm going to be the president of this club for at least the next 6 months, I challenge myself to some ideas of how I want to move our club forward. One thing I want to do is to begin to do our officer meetings again. I've become very lax, and I think we were just so overwhelmed with COVID and Zoom that fell to the wayside. But I'd like to reinstate that and get us back on track. I want to make sure that all of our members know they have a voice in this meeting, whether they're an officer or not. And I want to help people to accomplish their goals. I think it's time for us to have an open house. Maybe not this month, but in a couple months, prepare to have an open house so that we can open our doors to invite other people in to find out what Toastmasters is about. And when we had our area director, Amy Sabo, come to the meeting, we were asked if we'd given a Moments of Truth program recently, and we said no. So I challenge one of you in the audience to consider presenting that program to encourage the club members and to get us moving forward. And I'd like to end my speech by giving you a quote from John Maxwell, who's an author, speaker, and a pastor. He says, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." And that's how I would like to continue to lead this club in the next 6 months. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Marianne. That was inspiring.